Okay, we're going to be looking at a multimedia kit this week, specifically the Classic Airframes 1/48 scale Hawker Seahawk Mark 101. Now, I got this off Sprue Brothers bargain bin for really cheap, and was really surprised with what all comes with it. So right out the gate, looking at the various parts, the plastic feels thick. Definitely not like any plastic kits I've felt before. In comparison, it feels chunkier, almost. If, as you can see here, on like a Tamiya or a Hasegawa, the plastic would be thinner in this area. There'd be, or basically what I'm saying is like they wouldn't have as much, excuse me, filled in. Now this is both good and bad in that it makes it a little easier to work with as there's more area to attach to. But in this case, there's no locator pins on any of these parts thus far, so that's going to make it very difficult to get these straight and properly aligned. Moving on, tail surfaces. Much the same situation here. As far as the detail goes, all parts are engraved, which are nicely done. Now here we have the main sprue with the two fuselage halves. Again, much the same. Detail on the various parts is pretty good. Still, it would have been nice had they done some stuff different as far as locator pins and the like. Now, some of that I think I know why they did it. Here we have the main canopy part, which is nicely done, no seam line, but some of the detail seems a little weak. It is because of this. Now, I'm leaving these in the bag just because I don't want to potentially damage them, but the kit comes with a bunch of resin parts. And this is where you can really tell the difference between a plastic kit and one that's using resin parts. It's just the detail is substantially better. A lot of this is probably not going to show up on camera in the bag, but unfortunately, as I said, I don't want these to potentially ride around and get damaged. But the detail in comparison is much greater. It also comes with this photo etch, including the instrument panel. So, in that regards, this kit does have an interesting bit going for it, in that it does come with the resin parts to up the detail level. Now, for the decals, you're given several options, either a German aircraft or an Indian aircraft. The decals are very crisply done. My biggest complaint is the fact the Indian roundels have the center part separate. I just find when they do that it to be a much more difficult time building, or decaling, sorry. Just trying to get those centered is really difficult. Now, moving on to the instructions. It, like always, starts in the cockpit, and instructions are very nicely detailed and show you up close what all you need to do. Would have been nice had they done more in the way of color callouts, so as to make it a little easier to know how to paint it. Instead, we're just given descriptions, and also tells you what areas need to get sanded and or need to be modified on the plastic. Are going to need to wait for this one, and does go ahead and tell you that. That's interesting. Not notice that? Okay, it looks like on the instruction sheet they're telling you two different options, but will include the Mark 101 tail. So I'm guessing, obviously, they printed this for multiple kits, just sort of cheaped out and didn't do separate instruction sheets. But otherwise, the assembly is fairly straightforward. No areas where it really sort of jumps out. A couple areas where it might get a little tricky is here in when you're dealing with some of the other parts. But other than that, it's a fairly straightforward build. Paint scheme for both are extra dark sea gray and sky in both cases, so not much variance there. But what do I think? Honestly, I would highly recommend this kit for someone who is looking at sort of getting into trying working with resin parts. As at the price point, I paid about 15 bucks, and to get all that in the box, I would say definitely one to look into if you're thinking about taking some of your other models to the next level with the resin parts. As this way you don't spend that much, but you get the experience and learn how to work with them. So yeah, definitely one I highly recommend getting, despite some of the flaws in the plastic parts. So that was a look at Classic Airframes 1/48 scale Hawker Seahawk Mark 101. Till next time.